I'll tell you what happened, Jim. When I got hit with a shot, and I remember it very, very clearly because I thought that my legs were gone. And I thought, that's a good shot. And I started bouncing about, but it wasn't. My eye dropped down underneath like my lid, and it had a little bit of view left. And it was like, I could see like 2 or 3 all the time. And I realised after 30 seconds, it wasn't my legs, it was my eye.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Billy, the big bubbly muffler hole, Saunders. Now, this right here is what you call a YB classic. Accidentally slipped. Yeah, no doubt, 100% Freudian slip. Oh well, my legs, my eye. Listen, Billy, I don't know what goofy fake medical school you went to, but the bottom line is, yeah, you get hit in your eye, which you didn't even do, by the way. You didn't get hit in your eye, or not to the extent you think you did, or not to the extent you've shilled and paid Tyrone Booth, and paid Tyrone, MTK Tyrone, and paid Eddie Hearn and everyone else off to believe so. The fact of the matter is, you got a little bit of swelling on your eye, and that was it. Yeah? And a little bit of swelling doesn't make your legs feel like they went. So what you've done here is actually slip the truth. The truth is, people, is what the YB told you. The truth is, Canelo caught you with a corker of a shot, which gave you, because, listen, people don't understand. Normally, yeah, to get them kind of fractures, to be fractured in 4 places, naturally, it takes multiple shots. But extremely rare to be hit in one place, especially by a boxing glove, and be fractured in multiple places. Yeah? Takes multiple shots usually to cause the multiple fractures. You didn't, and therein lies the truth. You didn't have no fractures. You had exactly what I told you had. So a little piece of minor abrasions, which is what we would expect, to be fair, from one shot. Let's not forget, Alvarez spent most of the fight taunting, and most of the fight just relaxing and going through the motions, because he had your number. He knew, well, Taylor, I didn't know, he smelt the big soft muffler inside you. In fact, it wasn't even inside you. You are made of sweet, supple, sweating, melting muff. That's what you're made of, no doubt, 100%. And if you disagree, how did Alvarez know he was going to fold you in the 9th round? The only way he'd know that is if he's been smelling you for the last X amount of time. He could smell it. He could smell it. Like, all men know, all heterosexual men know that particular kind of taint. Yeah? Muff has a very special taint. No matter how clean, nothing to do with cleanliness, it's what it is. It's muff. Yeah? And Alvarez, if anyone knows muff, it's Alvarez. And he smelt a big one. A big fresh one. Yeah? A big Virgin Mary one, which was yours. He smelt it, and he wanted a piece of it. And he knew exactly when he was going to get a piece of it as well. 9th round. He called it. No doubt. Yeah? Having said that, he caught you with one shot. It wasn't 10. It wasn't 10 to cause, I thought it was my legs, but it was actually my eyeball falling. What? Don't make no sense, Billy. The truth is, you got hit once, and you realise, oops, my legs have gone. That's it. Yeah? Like I told you at the start of the video, he's slipped here. It's a Freudian slip. He didn't mean to tell you the truth. The truth is, you got caught with one good shot, and you didn't want no more because your legs was done. And then I love the way he kind of carries on and tries to make it into some medical mystery. Oh, well, yeah, I got hit with a good shot, and I thought my legs was gone, which they was, 100%. But then I realised, oh no, it wasn't my legs gone, it was my eyeball falling down, and... Come on, man. Come on. Yeah? And think about it. If you, I don't care what no one says, yeah? And this goes down deeper into Billy's psychology. He wants you to believe he's some sort of warrior. Imagine, yeah, you felt your eyeball fall down. Are you telling me you wouldn't take a knee? Innit though? Think about it. Be serious now. If you felt your eyeball fall out of place, are you telling me you wouldn't take a knee? Oh no, Billy wants you to bleed. Oh yeah, well, I got hit in my eye and it's fractured in 10 places and bone was sticking into my retina, but you know, I'm such a warrior that even when my eyeball even when I felt my eyeball flop out of place, I still battled on. And that's, to be fair to myself, he says as much. He says, seconds after this clip, he says, yeah, I worried on for 90 seconds with my eyeball flopping out of its socket. No joke. That's what he does say. But in reality, he'd already told you the truth. And this is what happens, you see. A lot of liars, a lot of low IQ liars, they often do give... That's the reason police exist. Well, that's the reason police catch a lot of these goofies out, is because they get caught slipping. They give little micro confessions. This right here was a micro confession. I got caught with one cracking shot. Because what you notice is, yeah, like I've explained, to get the kind of injuries Billy alleges, you'd have to be hit many times, very hard. Have you noticed that Billy doesn't describe any other of the shots? Isn't that interesting? For someone with such grave injuries, you'd think he'd be like, yeah, well, the thing is, I remember it in the first round, I got caught with this shot, and the fourth... He only ever quotes one shot. Do you know why? Because he only got hit with one. Yeah? But he wants you to believe it was some big war and whatever else. No. He was fine, his legs got tired, and he got hit, and he found a way to jump out of the ring. He was grateful for that shot, because guess what? He wouldn't... Well, tell a lie, he'd have found a way out, because that's what Ben was flown in for. Ben was flown in for gambling reasons and to save Billy. A dual purpose. It's no coincidence. Why be? What don't make no sense. Why was Ben there? Now we all know why. Ben was there because Billy wasn't feeling confident. Billy wasn't confident going into the ring with what's the word? Billy wasn't confident going into the ring with someone with the integrity of Mark Tibbs. He didn't want no integrity in the ring. He wanted 2021 Instagram trainer. Integrity is no good. Integrity says, Billy, you're going back out there for round 9. That's what integrity does. 2021 Instagram trainer says, oh, Billy, let me drag you out. You know what I'm saying? Concerned mother goose. That's what Ben Davison was. 2021 Instagram fruity. Will drag you out at the sign of anything. Let's not forget as well, yeah? Do you remember what happened? Wilder versus Fury. Fury's best round. Just before Fury's best round started, or at the end of Fury's best round, yeah? Guess what? Ben Davison was going to pull him out. I swear down. When Fury got put down in the 12th, yeah? Ben Davison was going to pull him out. If it wasn't for Freddie Roach's seasonness, Freddie Roach, much like Mark Tibbs, have a particular level of season. They are proper trainers. They're not Instagram trainers. And that's why a lot of these proper trainers, Mark Tibbs, Freddie Roach, literally look at Ben Davison gone out. They don't understand him. They can't understand how he's in the position he's in. And literally, let's not forget, who's the common denominator here? Do you think it's a coincidence? Ben Davison seems to be falling out with everyone he works with. Freddie Roach fell out with him. Said, Ben, you're too soft. Ben, you haven't got a clue what you're doing. Ben, you nearly called the fight off and he was just about to win it, essentially. Mark Tibbs finishes the fight. And the worst thing is, Ben Davison actually tried to go on the offensive. Ben Davison started saying, yeah, I can't believe Mark was so irresponsible. What? Mark was irresponsible by wanting his fighter, who's been talking a whole gang of rubbish, to do more than take one shot. What? That's his duty. The big problem is, with this 2021 Instagram culture here, a lot of people overlook. They overlook the things that used to matter back in the day. Back in the day, yeah, trainers alike, trainers and fighters, they felt an obligation to the fans in the whole, but also to their own fans in particular. Because the famous Custody Martin, Mike Tyson's trainer, he seldomly talked, from what I understand, he seldomly talked about victory in itself. A lot of the time, it was about performing for the fans. I'm pretty sure Muhammad Ali's old trainer as well, a lot of these old time dons, they were talking about, you know what I'm saying, your fans are your whatevers. Your crowd is, you know what I'm saying? These days, fruity Ben Davison with no culture in, got no shame. And in fact, again, 2021 culture, where's it heading? No respect for the fans. No respect to the people who made you, which is the truth of it. None of these fighters would be anything without the fans. Bottom line, you can chop it however you want. Oh, well, we give our lives. Number one, no one didn't ask you to do that. Guess what? You asked us to pay the pay-per-view, though. Does that make sense? Boxers request we pay pay-per-view, but no one asks them to box. That's where they get it wrong. That's where they get confused. They get confused like, oh, we're doing us a big favour. No, didn't no one ask you, man, to box. You, man, chose to box, and certain man put their money in. And therefore, I'm not being funny, that equation works out. You owe the fans, bottom line. That's it. Because guess what? If any of these boxers didn't exist, we wouldn't know no better. We wouldn't miss them for nothing. As much as they'd like us to think we wouldn't. But however, as I've explained, every year that goes by, this culture is being eroded. To so much to the extent, you've got people like Ben Davison, who is the 2021 Fruity Tooty representative and the headliner of Fruity Tootiness. He comes along, and they're actually kind of encouraging and pride in this. Have you not noticed that over the last few years? Over the last few years, that culture, that old time culture of, yeah, you owe it to the fans and whatever else, and you know what I'm saying, perform for your people, represent, stand up. That's completely disappeared. I've never actually heard of fighters, or I've never heard anyone mention about let's do it for the fans. Instead, we hear things like Ben Davidson, oh, F the fans, it's all about yourself, and just, you know what I'm saying, oh, as long as you're alright. Have you noticed how the narrative's changed? Now, all fighters, oh, well, it's my health, and it's all selfishness. It's all me, 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 me. Well, you know, I could have lost my eye, and back in the day, and that's why, yeah, back in the day, there's a different level of respect. And that's why in 2021, people like the YB are needed. Because back in the day, yeah, obviously there were certain fighters, but even them fighters who folded, yeah, they took a good few licks first. They didn't just roll over at the first sign of trouble like Billy did. But again, it's because part of it works both ways. Part of the reason fighters even feel they're able to do that is because of that. It's because of how they feel supported, if that makes sense. Because now you've got, even the fans, you dopey dons, you don't even know how you've been conditioned. Because even now you've got fans here who have essentially been robbed. You man who bet on Billy. You man who supported him and whatever else. You're the same people in the comments saying, yeah, Billy, it's so great. You're so smart to have done that. Yeah, Tyrone Booth. Tyrone MTK. Tyrone MTK. Tyrone. No doubt. Shilling. Oh, yeah, well, get in, get out, make your money, milk the fans. Essentially, that's what they're saying. Let's not forget. Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, fought nothing but bums apart from one fight. He had one decent fight, or two decent fights. I'll give him the Chris Eubank fight, but really, he says Eubank's a bum, so you've had one decent fight. You've had one decent fight and been able to make millions of dollars. Which is, in my definition, that's what you call milking the fans. And by the way, it's one thing, yeah, if you had one decent fight and became a millionaire, but you gave it your all in that fight, fair enough. But Billy Joe Saunders has literally robbed the bank. And the state of boxing, without the YB, everyone else, the state of boxing and the goofy 2021 culture would have you believe that Billy's some big victor. Oh, yeah, well, he got the bag. Oh, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Call it what it is. The truth is, Billy Joe Saunders robbed the bank and mugged all you fans off. That's what he did. Now, again, you guys don't even know what's happened to you. You've been turned around and been taken from behind, no doubt, 100%. No doubt. And you're celebrating it. You're celebrating being took from the backside. You're celebrating being took from the backside. Oh, well, yeah, Billy got the bag. Billy getting the bag don't help you none. Billy getting the bag cost you $80. And for what? And for that. And as I was about to explain, it wouldn't even be so bad, yeah, if, oh, well, YB, he give it his all. These fighters today, they do nothing for 25 fights, or whatever it is, 30 fights, have one decent cash-out fight, and don't even feel they have to perform in that fight. Billy Ho talked the whole game, jumped in, and jumped out. Didn't have no obligation. So you got people becoming millionaires now. And I'm not bitter. I don't really care. But it's the point of I don't know. I don't pay for it. I'm principle. I ain't paying for none of these goofies. They ain't working hard enough, in my opinion. I wish no one should pay. Everyone should, in my opinion. No one should pay for it. Bottom line, I don't see what pay for what. Pay for a man to jump in and make millions and jump out and not owe it to no one. What did he put on the line? For 8, and that's what I said to you, man. Give me 8 million. I'll get in there and get hit once and jump out. The whole point of these fighters becoming successful is that they're supposed to do something we can't do. They're supposed to show something the average man can't. If the average man can do it, what are we paying for, Billy? I'm telling you, the average man can get in there and get hit with one big shot and jump out. How about that? I can do that. Who can't do that? And you got, I'm not being funny, but Eddie Hearn as well. Even everyone's starting to encourage this whole business of, oh yeah, it's good to give up. It's good to roll over. Well, you know, yeah, it's good to fold. I don't like that. I'm sorry, you man can keep that 2021. I'm sure again. I've heard there's a whole load of goofy fans who love that kind of stuff. You love the fact that you pay pay-per-view and then the man don't deliver on. And it's another thing as well, by the way. On this topic, it's particularly relevant to Billy Ho because let's not make out he hasn't done the talking. If I was to come on here and berate someone who's just folded and never said nothing before, that's one thing. But he has talked a 10 out of 10 game. He has talked the most official and certified game. Now, in my book, if you talk the most official game, and then given all the other factors I've explained, you're making millions of dollars and whatever else. If we can't, and that's the crazy thing, even people like that, who have talked the game. And they're cashing out. Even you 2021 cats don't even want to hold them individuals accountable. Do you? You celebrate YB, don't matter what he said, and it don't matter, he got the bag, and it don't matter because he needed to save his eye. Didn't no one ask him to go in on Daniel Dubois? Didn't no one ask him to criticise Callum Smith's performance and Rocky Fielding's performance? He did so on the guys that, listen guys, I'm a different class. I'm a different level. I'll show you how it's really done. It comes to showing how it's really done, and Eddie Hearn's out here shilling. I can't believe how brave he was. That was one of the bravest performances in boxing history. He worried on for 90 seconds, and I'm sorry, Eddie, I don't care about your bag. I don't care about you making money, making commissions. I'm calling it what it is, and that was pathetic. Any man honest with themselves will call a spade a spade. For someone who talked that greasy, it's not enough to be hit once and jump out, and then make a load of stories about, oh no, it wasn't my legs, and it was my legs, it was my eye that popped out, but my leg. No, your legs was tired. I wouldn't even mind if this guy came out and called a spade a spade. You know what it was? I got hit once, my legs was tired. I just didn't want no more. I've already told you, man, that I'd respect that. Yes, he'd obviously get some banter, but what could you really say to it? But the fact you'll get all this manipulation, this MTK Ultra, the fact you've had to wheel out MTK Tyrone, to be trying and influence the alternative boxing sector, the alternative boxing market. Oh yeah, let's bring Tyrone in. Let's get Tyrone in a nice new BMW, and let's wheel him out and get him to just talk a load of rubbish about how brave and how much of a smart. And that's the narrative, and that's why I've really lost respect. That's why I really lost respect for Tyrone. MTK Tyrone, because he was supposed to be against the whole shill narrative, against the establishment things. Now this narrative now, this establishment narrative of, it's cool. It's cool to jack. It's cool to, you save yourself. But you know what I'm saying? That's what it's become. Boxing has now become, it's cool to give up. It's cool to jump out. It's cool to make a load of money and do nothing for it. That's what Tyrone said. Tyrone said, yeah, Billy's a smart man. He made 8 million. He made 8 million and didn't take any damage. Yeah, it's real smart. And you get in, get out, get as much as you can. Milk. And people forget, this isn't the case where, YB, he's taking money from a load of rich people. That money Billy's taken, who's it coming from? Mainly it's coming from the working classes. In the main, isn't it? The bulk of pay-per-views and whatever else, the bulk of support comes from the working classes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and preach about, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be political about things, but it's the truth. This isn't just a big pot. There wasn't just a big $20 million pot that Billy put his hand in. No. His fans, his loyal fans who've been following what he's saying and supporting him, put money in. Trying to buy a piece of what he was selling. So they're the ones who got a whole face full of bust from Billy. Billy lined you all up and told you to tip your head back and say on that night. And you did. You was like, and then they even know he did that to you. You man stay shilling for him. Actually supporting, YB, he got the bag and he saved himself and he didn't take it. Yeah, of course he should have done that. That was really smart. People are actually it's craziness. People are actually celebrating what happened. It's one thing being neutral and saying, well, I wasn't in there and I don't really want to comment, I'm not really sure either way. But to come out and celebrate it like Tyrone, MTK Tyrone, that's what's ruining the sport now. Because now you've got people, Eddie Hearn, Tyrone, everyone, 99% of people actually celebrate and actively back and encourage fighters to make a load of money and do nothing for it. And do the bare minimum. Like, being funny, the original, Malik Scott, jumped on the floor, didn't even get hit. Bermain Stavern. These people take millions of dollars to jump on the floor. Billy wasn't as bad as that, but he weren't far off, given how much rubbish he was talking. The sport's going in a pitiful direction. There's no more... It used to be fighters, were celebrated for doing real solid acts. Now, like I said, people are celebrated. He got the bag. $8 million. Yeah, he did. He's a smart man. He's the smartest man. Wow, that was a boss move. Yeah. Wow, he's a boss. What? We used to talk about that, about fighters who were doing things, you know what I'm saying? People who was Gatti versus Ward kind of stuff. Those were the kind of fights we'd say, yeah, man, he's a warrior. He got the bag. Yeah, he put it on. You know what I'm saying? Now, these guys, the worst thing is, these guys are making even more money. These big mouths, McGregor, McTapper, these big mouths, yeah, are making even more money and doing less for it. But again, it's, at the end of the day, all that is a whole bunch of suckers, because I ain't paying for it on principle. When I see two men get in there and get stuck in, I'll start paying. How about that? Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I can't remember the last fight I watched, and I thought, you know what? I probably should have paid for that one. Think of one. I can't think of it. Me, I listen to it on the radio free. Simple as that. Until I start seeing people get in there and get stuck in, it's radio for me. Yeah? I ain't paying for nothing. Straight radio. On principle. Because guess what? Most of these fights ain't worth watching anyway. In real life. They're not. You might as well listen to how soft they are. None of them are going. It's not like WoW YB. You're really missing out on loads of high level, kind of gritty fighting. All you're watching is a whole bunch of bums in there dancing around. The odd jab, the odd right hand. There's nothing sticky where you think, wow, I really missed that. At best, you might get a big right hand from Wilder. At last, you know what I'm saying, or one big exchange from. So there's no real devastating boxing anymore. Where just think of the fights here where from the jump, you know what I'm saying, it'd be a real fight. You're thinking, wow, I can't turn this off. Show me the last one of them. Show me it. The last barn burner. You know, I can't tell you one. And especially these big level fighters. Because I'm not being funny, I'm not being horrible, because I actually like Callum Smith, but even the Callum Smith fight versus Alvarez, where was the barn burner? Like, when you think about the level of fighters, Bert Cooper wasn't a Holyfield. And I know I'm not a boxing historian, so I have to only have a limited level of different fights. But for the purpose, they're fine. Or for the purposes I use them, they work fine. Holyfield versus Bert Cooper. Bert Cooper weren't no Hall of Famer or whatever else. Bert Cooper, I think Callum Smith's probably technically better than Bert Cooper. But so what is it? Yeah. About these generations. Bert Cooper wasn't no Hall of Fame Don. But guess what? When he fought Holyfield, he came to get stuck in. And actually, because he did that, guess what happened? He actually put Holyfield down. Yeah? That was a back and forth fight. Holyfield versus and you know what I'm saying? Where's that gone? These days, like I said, the reason I refuse to pay. Canelo versus Smith. No, again, no disrespect to Smith. But still, where is that? Where's that Holyfield and Bert Cooper? Where you think, you know what? Cooper probably fought, or either way, it only went 7 rounds, but he said to himself, you know what? I've only got 6-7 rounds in me. I'm going to give him hell whilst I'm here and see what I can do. Where's that gone? Show me the last fighter you saw, yeah, who was clearly or was outmatched. Because, yeah, fair enough, Callum Smith may be outmatched, but where was the dig deep? Where was the liver? You know what, I'm going to stand up and represent for my people. If I only go 6 rounds, I only go 6 rounds. Again, it's that Klitschko, that Mayweather. Well, it's better for me to survive, David Hay, it's better for me to survive and go 12 rounds than it is to get stopped really going for it. That's all we see today. All we see today is a bunch of Mayweather Klitschko dons who would rather lose on points than get stuck in. That's why I ain't paying for it. When I start seeing people who may not actually win the fight but go in there and get stuck in, I'll start paying. Because back in the 80s and 90s, people, you couldn't afford to just go out sad. People would tune in and watch a Bert Cooper fight again. You know what I'm saying? If you put a shift in, that's how you get fans. Look at Gatty and Ward. Gatty and Ward weren't the best fighters, but guess what? They made money because they was getting stuck in and people wanted to watch them. Today, I'm not being funny here, but I ain't want to tune into most of these dons. It's boring. It's jab and walk around and you know what I'm saying, nothing to write home about, is it? Let's be truthful now. What fighter is out? And I'm not being funny. You man know. One of the examples I used to use was Josh Taylor, but look at Josh Taylor now. Josh Taylor, typical. With Shane McGuigan and Josh Taylor, you man heard my opinion. Josh Taylor was a throwback fighter with Shane McGuigan. He leaves Shane McGuigan, goes with Ben Davidson, and now he's as boring as you like. Josh Taylor under Shane McGuigan would have stopped. What's his name? Would have stopped him. Would have stopped Ramirez. Because Shane McGuigan would have told him, listen, my man's ready to go in 8th or the 9th. That's what Shane McGuigan does. Because when Okoli was ready, when Okoli fought Glorowski, he told him, listen, my man's ready to go. And Okoli smoked his boots for him. Josh Taylor in there with Ramirez would have been stopped. Ramirez would have stopped it. I mean, Josh Taylor would have stopped him. But instead, with Ben Davidson told him, listen, we're following the Mayor of Klitschko. Let's bore everyone to tears for the last 4 rounds. On your big night, and that's why I don't feel no way. Oh, well, Josh Taylor isn't a big name. Well, you ain't going to become a big name. Well, you never know, actually. But, you know, it's harder to become a big name when you're just sacking off the last championship rounds. Josh Taylor sacked off the last 4 rounds. For what? What are we doing here? What is this? Oh, sack off the last 4 rounds. Oh, I'm winning anyway. Wow. What happened to, again, wanting to deliver for your fans and whatever else, and prove something, even to yourself? Okay, fair enough. F the fans. What about proving to yourself? I want to prove to you how good I am. I'm going to prove to you I'm good enough to stop the unified champion to become undisputed. Oh no, sack that off. I'm just going to freeze the last 4 rounds and. No one want to watch that. And again, until I start seeing that, and I'm not saying, oh, well, YB, who cares about your odd £20 tenner here? Fine. People want to know why UFC's taking over. Guess what? In the main, what's UFC? People are getting stuck in the main. And people who are boring in the UFC get outed quickly. John Jones, Tyron Woodley towards the end. People get called them out. Boring. Don't know want to watch it. Even if it does numbers kind of thing, but it's still boring. In boxing, you cheered for it. Wow, yeah, you outboxed him. Wow. And to be fair, in UFC, yeah, it's actually harder to get stuck in because there's so many more things. In boxing, you've only got 2 arms. There's no excuse, yeah, for boxers not knowing how to get stuck in. It's embarrassing. The sport's down super bad. The sport of boxing in the last 20 years has seriously devolved. Fighters are the definition of one-dimensional. All they can do is jab and right hand, and if it ain't that, they fall apart. They don't know what they're doing. It's shocking. But anyway, listen. Billy, wow, you are a bottom, as I said the other day. Or, as I said months ago, you are a bottom. Yeah? This discussion got far away from you, because you're not even in this discussion. We're talking about real boxing fundamentals here. You ain't even in that discussion. You're in the bottom discussion. Yeah? You are at the bottom of the food chain. A real bottom. Yeah? No doubt.